Here's an interesting note that our researcher found out. The Giants are in jeopardy of missing the playoffs for the 5th time in 6 years. Let's talk about the Giants, Stephen A. Smith. Who's to blame for the struggle?
First of all of them, to be quite honest with you, from ownership to Jerry Reese to Tom Coughlin to Eli Manning. But in terms of who's primarily responsible, I know there are those that are inclined to believe it's Jerry Reese, the general manager, because you look at the talent or lack thereof that the Giants are presumed to have. I like Odell Beckham.
So do I.
I think he did a good job last night. Victor Cruz is hurt. He's out for the year. That's not talent to sneeze at. Ruben Randall, yeah, he's got some issues in terms of what he can produce for you in the red zone or what have you, but still he can play. Rashad Jennings, the first running back that had stuck before he got hurt and what have you.
He can play.
He can play.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that, and Eli Manning is Eli Manning. If you're going to knock anybody for getting Eli Manning, I mean, what do you want me to say? He's a two-time Super Bowl champion. Did lead the league in interceptions 3 times, but he's still Eli Manning. You look on the defensive side of the ball, Prince Amukamara, obviously he's got some promise.
But he's gone.
But he's gone for the year. He's gone, like you say, he's gone for the year. I'm just talking about in terms of talent. So I look at some of the pieces that they have, Beeson and those guys that got hurt. I'm looking at some of the pieces that Jerry Reese put on the squad, and even though there are times where it appears he could have done a better job, I can't sit there and look at these guys and say, no, they can't play, they can't get it done. They've proven they can get it done, so I'm not going to go the Jerry Reese route. Eli Manning is inconsistent. He has something to do with it. But Skip Bayless, I'm going to sound sacrilegious in saying this. I ultimately put this on Tom Coughlin, and I'm going to tell you why. I want to be very respectful when I say this, because the man is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And there are those who consider him a lock for the Hall of Fame because of those 2 Super Bowl rings. And I guess if you're going by rings and that's where you want to stop, I have to give credit where credit is due. Tom Coughlin knows football. He can coach his butt off.
Yep.
All of this stuff is true about him. Here's the problem. The results. In the end, 5 times in 6 years, you will have missed the playoffs. And by the way, since 2011, Skip, even the year they won the Super Bowl, they squeezed in at 9-7.
They did.
And then they came at 9-7 again, and then 7-9, and now you're 3-5. What is that? All I'm saying is there comes a point in time we're like allergic to saying this in this business when it comes to coaches, and it really bothers me because we do it to players all the time.
Yep.
But there comes a time when it's your time.
Yeah.
It's just your time. This is not about Tom Coughlin's ability to coach. I know he can coach. This is not about questioning his accomplishments. I'm not questioning his accomplishments. But when you miss the playoffs in 5 of 6 years, like the Giants are on the verge of doing, there may come a point in time when it's time for a new voice. To resonate with you, Skip, you can relate to where I'm coming from. We all knew how great Tom Landry was, but Jerry Jones took over. It wasn't just about bringing his guy in. It had reached a point where it was time for a new voice in Dallas.
3-13.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm saying the hat and you know, the suit and all of that stuff. It was nice, Tom Landry. We enjoy you. You were fantastic. But there comes a point in time. Don Shula in Miami. There comes a time. And all I'm saying is that with Tom Coughlin, it's his time. In New York, maybe, I don't know, but in New York, I just get the sense that the New York Giants need a new voice. Because sometimes, no matter how far, I mean, listen, the man can coach. He knows football. He's always working hard. He prepares. He's always getting up earlier than everybody else. He's working later than everybody else. Nobody's questioning anything about Tom Coughlin but the results. 5 missed playoffs in 6 years is unacceptable for an organization the caliber of the New York Giants. I do believe that if they don't make the playoffs, it is simply time for a new voice.
I agree with you, but I'm glad you brought up the Tom Landry analogy. Here's the difference in Tom Coughlin. I don't think it's time for Tom to be put out to pasture. I would not blame any other team for hiring Tom Coughlin. Just start over, give him a fresh start with the new group, because the man can just flat out coach. He's solid. He's dedicated. He's dependable.
Focused.
I wouldn't mind him coaching my football team.
Neither would I.
Okay? So the point is, it's just time for a change in New York. But now let's come back to your quarterback, Eli Manning, the cipher to me, the guy I can't ever quite figure out. Because, as you point out, 3 times now, Eli Manning has led the NFL in interceptions. after each of the first 2 times, he bounced right back with an incredible season because they got on a late roll each time. He got on a hot roll in the postseason, and leading the league in interceptions turned into 2 Super Bowl rings. That's phenomenal. But to me, it's still an aberration. It's still outliers when you look at the grand scheme of Eli Manning. Last night, when the game started, I knew right away Eli was out of it. He's just having one of those bad Eli. There's great Eli, there's bad Eli. There's out of it Eli, and he just seemed a little off last night. No rapport. I don't know how Preston Parker got in the game, but he missed him he had 6 targets and 1 catch. They were completely on the wrong wavelength. But my point is, it looks like this is the first time, and I could eat these words, but they're now 3-5. It looks like Eli's not going to bounce back with the Super Bowl after last year's leading the league in interceptions. Is that fair to say?
Looks that way.
I mean, it sure looks that way. Miracles do happen, but to me, all of a sudden, at an advanced age, after he came off, what was it, ankle, some kind of ankle surgery, he's not bouncing back. So you can't trust that he will keep leading the league in interceptions one year and then come back with a miraculous year the next year. So I'm thinking you got dual blame here, and I'm going to go 50-50 coach quarterback. But the quarterback, without a bounce-back year, is about to get the coach fired. Well, see, that's where they're headed.
See, for me, one of the problems that I have with Eli is that he doesn't seem inspirational.
No.
You know, from the quarterback position, we judge others that way.
Sure.
We've talked about Cam. We've talked about RG3.
Sure.
We've talked about Jay Cutler.
Sure.
We've questioned Matthew Stafford in the past. The list goes on and on. We might need to bring that up about Eli because here's the part about Eli. And you know, to meet Eli, to talk to Eli, he's an incredibly nice guy. And you hate getting on him like this, but it just is what it is. What makes it close to unforgivable with Eli is that your big brother is the best.
Sure.
Is considered the best. You know, and everything he does seems to work. You know, it's a guy you talk to. It's a guy you look up to. It's a guy that loves you more than anybody else in the NFL does. That's your big brother, you know. And on top of it all, you know, you practice with him. You know, I mean, you can still, listen, I'm a thief. I'm the ultimate thief. You steal successful habits. That's what you do. And if my brother was alive, God rest his soul, I mean, please, whatever worked for him, it damn sure would work for me because I'd copy it. You know, and I'm just looking at Eli, and it's like you look at Peyton Manning, he wears football on his sleeve. And guys around him sort of give you the impression they're like standing at attention because we've got to perform because this brother is intense. He's going to come at us if we don't get it done. With Eli, you always get the impression, oh, shucks. You know, that's his demeanor. That's his personality. That's what gives off. And I think that when you look at the NFC East the way that it is right now, you need more than that from your quarterback. Sure. So I definitely I get your point. But in the end, I got to look at Tom Coughlin, too.
Yep.
Because you're the head coach. And listen, you won 2 Super Bowls, and I give you that. But you won the Super Bowl as a 10-6 record and then a 9-7 record. Yeah, 1-12-4 season, but you lost the divisional playoff game. And just look at this record, 8-8, then the 10-6, then the 9-7, 9-7, 7-9. That's 5 years. Oh. And then now you're 3-5. Yep. Look, I need better than that from you.
Now we look back. Remember, they were on a 3-game roll a little earlier this year?
Yeah, they look good.
Okay, so at home they beat Houston. I'm starting to wonder if Houston's very good. Yeah. Seriously.
Well, I think Bill O'Brien is very good. Okay, but I think J.J. Watt is great.
Okay, but that's not translating into good football team.
Yes.
Then they went to Washington on Thursday night. Kirk Cousins throws 4 second-half interceptions, and it winds up 45-14, and Eli looked great in that game. Then at home they beat Atlanta 30-20, and I think Atlanta has been exposed.
Bogus wins is what you're saying. Okay, I hear you. We asked who's to blame for the struggle. Skip Bayless says it's Manning. Manning overthrew his intended receiver on 11 attempts on Monday, the most since the start of 2006 for that quarterback. Stephen A. Smith says it is Tom Coughlin. We want to know what you think at home. Things are definitely getting critical for the G-men. We want you to respond at Twitter using the hashtag NYGissues. Tell us who you think is to blame for the struggle. Coming up